Hi everyone. Today we're going to do an electrochemistry lab, and the idea of this lab is to test different metals and see which metals like to be oxidized and which metals like to be reduced. So as an example, I wanted to show you this, where we have copper sulfate solution. That's the copper is giving the blue color to the solution. Maybe a couple of minutes ago, we added a piece of zinc. So originally the zinc looked like that, just like a piece of metal. And now if you look closely, the zinc looks covered by some orange kind of matter, kind of fuzzy matter there. So that's actually copper zero that is being reduced from the solution. So it's going from copper 2 plus to copper zero, and the copper zero is being deposited on the surface of the zinc. If we look at this reaction 24 hours later, this is what happens. So you can see the solution lost the color. That means copper 2 plus is not in solution anymore, because all the copper 2 plus was reduced to copper zero. And you can see at the bottom here, this orange solid, that's the copper zero. And the zinc went from zinc 0 to zinc 2 plus, and it's in solution, and zinc doesn't have any color in solution. So that's why our solution is transparent here. So this is spontaneous, as you can see. This process is spontaneous, as you can see. And here I want to show you the two half reactions that we have. So we have copper 2 plus being reduced to copper 0, and zinc being reduced to zinc 0. So what we are going to look here is what is the reduction potential for each of these metals. So for copper, the reduction potential is 0.34 volts, and for zinc it is negative 0.76 volts. So the higher this reduction potential, that means that the metal likes to be reduced more. The lower this potential is, that means the metal likes to be oxidized more. So when we combine zinc metal and copper 2 plus solution, which we just did here, the zinc prefers to be oxidized because the potential is lower, and the copper prefers to be reduced because the potential is more positive or larger. So we can use this type of redox reactions to make batteries, or what we call galvanic cells. So a galvanic cell is, it has two components. We have component 1, component 2. In one, we're going to have the anode. In the second one, we are going to have the cathode. In the anode, the oxidation happens, and in the cathode, the reduction happens. So we look what we have inside the anode. We have a piece of metal, zinc 0. We have a solution that contains zinc 2 plus. This zinc 0 is going to be oxidized to zinc 2 plus, and it's going to release electrons that are going to travel to the other compartment, where we have copper 0 and copper 2 plus. These electrons are going to come here and reduce the copper to copper 0, and the metal copper is going to be deposited on the surface of this piece of metal that we have here. Now, to connect these two compartments, we usually use a salt bridge, as you learn in lecture. Now, we can also measure what is the voltage that is produced when we connect these two cells, and we can use a voltmeter, or we can use a multimeter to check if this volt, how many volts we have here. And in the next video, we are going to see what our experiment looks like for this lab.